I think we have, okay, cool. I think we have everybody muted that needs to be muted. And I think Sierra was trying to switch devices. So let's go ahead and get started. And Sierra can pop back on, but we can come back. Oh, there she is. Sierra!
Woo woo.
Hey girl, hey!
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes! We can hear you now!
Poor Sierra. I can't hear you guys though. Just a second.
Oh, really? Do you hear me?
Okay, so when I use my microphone, I can't hear you guys. So I'm just gonna try to speak up.
Oh, maybe you can play us on both 2 devices.
That's a good idea.
Oh yeah, let me just put it up on my computer.
Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started while she's figuring that part out. Okay, so the point of tonight's call was to have both Jessica and Sierra talk to you all about continuing the momentum. So they're both new coaches. I actually just looked up because I knew that their 1-year anniversary was coming up. And for Jessica, it's October 20th. Hey, it'll be her 1 year. And for Sierra, it's November the 7th. So both of them have been coaching within the last year. They both hit one of the big milestones that I know a lot of us try to achieve, which is that diamond rank. And they both hit it fairly quickly. Sierra, I think, was within the first 3 months, and she ended up earning one of the leaders we're doing. And then for
That's probably my fault.
And then for Jessica, she hit it within her first 6 months, and she's going to be heading off to a leadership trip next year. So this is something that both of them have been able to continue with momentum, continuing to hit Success Club, continuing to add people to their team, continuing to build momentum and not letting it lag behind. Though we all have our months where it's not our best, and they will tell you they've had months where they've kind of slowed. They didn't slow down personally, but their business appeared to slow down. And so they would have to evaluate. And I think anytime that you have success and then all of a sudden your success stops, then you have to look at your business and you have to evaluate it. Because you guys, I have adjusted my business over the last 5+ years multiple times. I've adjusted, I've said things in different ways. I've approached people in my invites different ways. I've came across on social media different ways. I'm always evaluating myself. So anytime that you are like, okay, why is it this person's having success and I'm not? You need to first go to your own page and self-evaluate yourself. Really audit your account, okay? Audit what you're doing behind the scenes. And that's why we're going to have Jessica and Sierra speaking, because they're going to be really talking about behind the scenes. It's really easy to go to their pages or watch their Facebook or Instagram stories, and you're going to know that they're consistent and they consistently show up every day. So the number one thing that I hope you guys take away from this is that consistency is what builds a business. And I actually polled all the diamond leaders on Team Own My Tone in our message thread. We have a leader thread that we have going on. And I asked them how many times, are they consistently connecting, inviting, showing up. And you guys, for most of them, they all put 5 or more days a week they're consistently showing up to their business. And several of them put they are consistently showing up to their business 6 to 7 days a week. So I think that should be a huge takeaway, that consistency is what builds a business, and consistency is what creates success over one person over the other. Okay. With that being said, I'm going to hand it over. Let's start with Jessica first. And I'll have both of these ladies kind of give you a little background and tell a little bit about themselves, and then they both have topics that they want to cover.
Okay, so first of all, I can't believe my business anniversary is October 20th, because on all my posts I've been writing, I started my business on October 27th. So I'm such a liar.
And we can pretend it's the 27th if you want to.
Oh, we are 100%.
You probably got your stuff in the mail on the 27th.
You know what? That's it. It was, I got my stuff on the mail on the 27th, but I totally thought it was the 27th. Okay. That makes sense, guys.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I started my business last year, obviously on October 20th. I was 4 months postpartum. I had my husband at home with a concussion for the last year. So he was basically MIA. I had a new baby and I had my 3.5-year-old all at home. Now the difference between me and a lot of people is I knew I had wanted to coach because I'd been stalking Danielle's life for like 3 freaking years. As she knows, I told her. So one night I was laying in bed and I just decided that I wanted to be a coach. Like I was ready for it. I knew I wanted to be doing this. I was ready for it. So I was messaging Danielle off the hook. Like I messaged her on Instagram, Facebook. Danielle, I was harassing you. And I remember you told me that you and Chris were watching a movie and I was so upset because I wanted to sign up that night. And you're like, sorry, girl, it's Saturday, mine and Chris's movie night. And I'm like, damn it. I actually think I had to wait until Monday. But it was a good thing. It kept the momentum going. I was like gung ho. Anyway, so I signed up as a coach and
We've heard of that sign.
I didn't even tell my husband that I was doing it for a good week because I knew that our life was super complicated at the time. And I knew that he most likely wasn't going to be on board with me opening my own business. And the reason being is because my husband is very like old school Italian. Like, oh my God, he's special. Okay. He's very special. My husband. So he is used to being the one that brings in all of the income. So he's always had the business. He's always brought in the majority of the income. I've always been a hygienist, but he's always been in like he's been the major breadwinner. So when I told him that I was opening up my own business, he was like, well, when the hell are you going to do it? Number one, because we have 2 kids. I'm in bed half the day or more. You are like telling me you don't have enough time to do anything right now. How are you going to do this? How are we going to pay for your supplements? How are we going to do this and this and this? And so he basically said, like, I don't want you to do it. And I didn't care because I knew that I wanted to do this. This was something that I needed for myself. I had just went through a year with like being pregnant, doing hygiene, like losing my interest in hygiene, having a husband who was just completely disabled for an entire year. So I knew that if I was going to get through the next year of maternity leave and keep my sanity, that I needed something special that was my own. So originally it wasn't even about the money. It was just having something to distract me and having something special that was my own. So I would say about 6 months into the business, I hit diamond and my husband started to take it a little bit more seriously. And not really, guys, like he's still not my number one supporter. Him and his family are they're old school, like husbands, work, wives, clean, cook, watch the kids. Okay. So for me to open up my own business and bring in an income and be posting on social media, what do they call it? Me dancing around in a bra. They don't like it. So, and I understand that it's just their culture and it's different, but I didn't let it bring me down because I knew that I want to be successful in this business. And even though my husband doesn't understand it fully, and I don't think he ever will, he doesn't have to live my life day in and day out the way I do. So it's not important to him like it is to me. And that's all that really mattered to me. So that's why I haven't really had very much support except for my friends and probably my mom and my sister. But the whole thing is just really taking into account how you want to live every single day and really focusing on what makes you happy, because you're going to find, like, I don't think a lot of people do get a lot of support in this business because it's so unknown. People don't understand it, and people talk badly about things or poorly about things that they don't understand. And I'm totally okay with that because I found that people have started to come around a lot more in the last year, I would say too, after seeing my success. But yeah, a lot of people definitely brought me down at the start, but it gets better. It definitely gets better, and people start coming around, especially spouses, guys. Spouses start to come around once income starts to come in, I find. So don't let that bother you, because I literally was just talking to a coach, I think 2 days ago, or when was it, Danielle? I was telling you about it. I was like, she told me no because her husband won't let her. And I was like, my husband said no. I think it was like 2 days ago that she told me no. But yeah, like, just focus on yourself. Do this for you. And I think that's about all I had to say. I think I might think of other things once Sierra talks.
And on the spouse too, I always think it's really interesting. Melanie Mitro has a really great story.
Yeah.
Her husband didn't want her to sign up, and she
Yeah.
did not. I'm not saying that this is okay. So if any husbands are listening in, but she saved up. She used her birthday money, and she invested into a challenge pack and became a coach.
Yep.
And you know, like, I think sometimes if your spouse doesn't have the belief in you, then you need to prove it to them. And that's how I've always
That's it.
felt with, you know, all my family members. If anybody didn't believe in me, and I have some very close family members to me that didn't have faith in this business, and now they're like my biggest freaking supporters. So.
And you kind of use it to fuel your fire, right? Like anytime, so many people have said shit the last year. Like my neighbors have said stuff to my husband's family calls him constantly and tells him that they don't like what I'm doing. Like it's nonstop. And I just don't care because this is what I want. And I love it so much that it just doesn't matter to me what any of them say because they don't understand how happy it makes me. And honestly, I think a lot of people that are negative about your business is because they're unhappy with themselves. I would say the majority of the people that try to bring me down are really unhappy in general. And that's why they don't like seeing me doing something for myself and seeing me happy and seeing me not just be a mom.
Exactly. And I think those are often things that you have to kind of figure out as you're going with this business, and you kind of figure out the emotions that you're going through. Because at first it hurts, right? You're like,
my God.
Like they feel this way about me. And like,
Yeah.
I mean, I had some emotional breakdowns and tears. And that is why, guys, and I know Jessica's huge on this, personal
development.
It will change your life. Like,
Yes.
when people first started on my personal development, I was like, I don't need personal development. Like, I'm confident, I'm good. Guys, everybody needs personal development. Everybody. Okay, that is what changes your mindset. And somebody just asked me this week, how do you stay motivated? I'm like, you know what? Like, it's not anything that I bought or somebody gave me. It's a mindset. It's a decision. And so if you want to get your mindset in the right place, you need to listen or read the right thing.
And I think it's like finding personal development that you can relate to. Because at first I was reading personal development like that I couldn't relate to, and it wasn't helping me because I couldn't relate to it. So I think it's sitting down and really thinking about where you're vulnerable or what your weaknesses are and finding a book or an audio book that you can really relate to and dive into 100% and be interested in.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. Okay, so Miss Sierra, do you want to share a little bit with us about your personal story?
Sure. So I am going to put my microphone back in because it's barely and I won't be able to hear anything to say, so I'm going to go on. Better, right? Okay, so yeah, my name is Sierra. I can't believe it's already almost been a year since I started coaching. This year's gone by so fast. Starting into the business, I decided to do it right after I injured my wrist playing soccer. I had connected with Danielle like a year before and talked about coaching with her, but I had my whole gym routine figured out, so I wasn't really interested at the time. And at-home workouts didn't really appeal to me. I was definitely a gym rat. So I didn't see how I could get better results working out at home than I could at the gym. But I definitely proved myself wrong. But because of my wrist injury, I was going through a lot of anxiety because I was worried about losing my career as a dental hygienist. So this is when I started kind of taking the Beachbody business a little bit more seriously, and I was paying a little bit closer attention to Danielle and what she was doing with her business. So I definitely started knowing that I wanted to build a business with Beachbody. So this is why I dove right into the training when I got started, and I really took it seriously. I really wanted to build an income. So that was my story behind that. And my husband actually was surprisingly pretty supportive of my business, and my family too. So I didn't really struggle with that, but I was really afraid of what other people were going to think when I started posting. So it definitely took me a while to get over that fear.
Okay, awesome. And for you all that don't know, Sierra is currently expecting. She's due in February, right?
Yay! With a boy!
With a boy. So super exciting. Sierra works full time. She's also a dental hygienist, and I think her ultimate goal is to allow coaching to allow her to be home a lot more with the new baby boy. So, all right, Jessica, I'm going to jump back over to you, and I'm going to let you take over and kind of go over some of the outlines, things and points that you wanted to share with everybody that's helped you keep your momentum in your business and keep moving forward.
Okay, so I wrote it in like list form because I'm such a scatterbrain and I talk way too damn much. So I wrote it down so I keep like focused. I think it's like ADHD. I've self-diagnosed. Anyways, so I work on my business 6 days a week, guys. And when I say work on my business, I don't really work on my business during the day because I have the kids or now I'm at work. So I really work from around 8 till 11, sometimes 12 right now, but that's because I'm really want to build my momentum. I'm working my ass off. I want to bring down my hygiene hours because I'm bored at work. And I'm literally back from maternity leave on week 4 right now. At first I was like so excited to be back to work, and now I'm like, no. Coaching is going full time. Okay, so I work 6 days a week. I take Tuesdays off. I don't work out on Tuesdays, and I don't work my business on Tuesdays. I check in on my challenge group, and I do my workout on the next morning, and I'll have my shake on Tuesdays as well. So 6 days a week, I'm working my business, except Tuesday. So I take that one day off. I think it's important to set boundaries for ourselves. We need the day to think less, especially if you're like me. I'm constantly thinking like, I just need a day to think less, go to bed early, and not have to conversate with anyone except my hygiene patients.
I'm going to interrupt you for a second. And Tuesday, you still do stories too, right? Like you're still documenting.
Oh my God, yeah. Okay, so yeah, I do stories 7 days a week. I do like 40 stories a day. I'm next level out of control. I just love posting. So I do so many stories because I enjoy it. So I don't know. I don't consider that working my business just because I like doing it.
Yeah.
I consider working my business really just reaching out to people, because I don't mind reaching out to people now just because I'm so used to it. And it's actually kind of like a high when someone talks back to me. I'm like, yes. But in general, I consider working my business, reaching out to people, making challenge group guides or doing all that kind of stuff. But I don't really consider making my stories working my business, even though it could be. Anyways, on my stories, I post minimum 5 to 7 times per day. On Tuesday, probably only 7 times because I'm at work all day. But I've really found it's made a difference to just be like authentically me, show my personality. I'm super weird. I'm hyper. I also suffer with things too. So I'm very honest about like if I've had a shitty day and I've binge ate sour gummies, or if I've had a really good day. So I try to be as real as I can, because I found that, and this is like trial and error, guys, because as I said, I didn't start off doing really well in the business. I had to like relearn and reevaluate and readjust constantly. I would say every month I had to relearn and readjust. And what really helped me was just being myself. And when I figured out who I was, that's when people started coming in, because people trusted me more. I found people started to trust me more. So what I basically did at first was I took a piece of paper, and this is like 3 months into my business when I was at a standstill. I wrote down me, and I wrote down 5 positive traits about myself. So I wrote down, or what I wanted to talk about, who I wanted to be. So I think I wrote down like dental hygienist, mom of 2. I wrote funny mommy of 2, weirdo, likes health and fitness. I can't remember what else. There was a few things that I wrote down. And then I wrote down one vulnerable side of myself. So it was me, like 4 or 5 positive points. And then one point about myself that I wanted to be honest about, something that I struggled with. And that is my anxiety and panic disorder. And once I started just talking about that, I became more confident because I wasn't holding back me anymore. And I was able to relate to people more, and people trusted me more. So that really helped me. Now, you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea, no matter what your personality traits are. Even if you are like super shy and you don't really post a lot, you're never going to be anyone's cup of tea, no matter what you are. And I'm okay with that. I've come to terms that I'm okay with that. I'm okay if people don't love everything that I do. Because if I can help one person feel like or be better, then I'm all in. I'm all in this business, because that's what fills my cup. And that's why I love it. So once a day when I'm working my business, probably around 10 at night, I check in on my challenge group. I check who worked out that day. And if a lot of people worked out that day, I actually will like give them a shout out on my stories. I'll be like, oh, 15 people worked out today. And I feel like that gets people feeling like they're missing out a little bit. It's called FOMO. I don't know if you guys use that term in the US. You do? Okay. FOMO's genius. It works really well. I use it all the time. So if people were doing really well in the challenge group, I'll write on my stories. I'll take a picture of how many people worked out, and I'll actually shout out in my challenge groups too. Great jobs today, guys. I'm so impressed. 21 of you guys worked out. And I find that it just keeps everyone motivated and wanting to do better because they want to be a part of that post. So again, FOMO. Now, guys, this is so important. I was telling my coaches this the other day. Even if you don't run your own challenge group and you're in someone else, like your sponsors, like if you're in Danielle's or in your upline, make sure you show up every single day, because even though you're not running it, your people are in there and they're watching you. They don't care what I'm doing or what Danielle's doing. They're watching you. You're their coach. You committed to them and they signed up under you. So show up every single day with your exercises, show up with your Shakeology, show up with your results. Be accountable to them because they're not watching any of us. They're relying on you. So show up in the challenge group every single day, even if it's not yours. Because I was showing up in Danielle's challenge groups every single day when I was in them, because I only had like 2 people in her group at first, and I still showed up every single day because people were watching me. My people were watching me. And I think that's important, that we really show them that we're there for them, even if it's not our group. So let me just switch to my next note so I don't forget anything. Oh, okay. So following on social media. So every single night I follow minimum on Instagram 50 people. So I don't know why I was so confused with this at first. Like I just didn't grasp what Danielle was telling me, and I don't understand why. But anyways, Danielle said, follow your friends' followers. And I'm like, yeah. And I would literally go to random websites and follow random people who didn't even know who I was. So at 3 months, I was following random people. No one was following me back because they're like, who the hell is this girl standing on a step, 50 pounds overweight, telling me to eat healthy? So I started following. Eventually, I figured out how to do it. And it's so simple. But maybe you guys don't even get it yet because I didn't. And it's not because I have blonde hair. It just doesn't click, okay? So you go to your followers, and I click my friends, and then I go to their Instagram account, and I click on their followers, and I add 50 of them. It's not weird. You are literally going to provide so much value to these people. And I thought it was so weird at first. I was embarrassed to add them, but you're providing so much value in your posts and your stories that it actually excites me to invite people now, because I'm like, yay, they get to see all my crazy stuff and they get to know me and I get to know them and we get a network, and maybe they'll be a part of my business or maybe they'll be my challenger. So it makes me excited to add people now. So I have no issue doing it. So I go to my friends' followers and I add their friends, and so on. Then that person will add me and I'll add their friends. And I do this, you know what? I might even do this Sunday. I might be guilty of working my biz on Tuesdays and Sundays, okay? I might add people on those days too. Just because I don't like my Instagram to stand still. I like my followers to continue. I don't know. It's all in my head. What else? Oh, so I want to tell you what I say to people, because at first I wasn't getting a lot of people responding to me. And I don't know if it's because what I was saying to them, they just thought I was like a robot. But when I changed what I was saying, people started to talk back to me and respond. So I'm going to read it to you guys, and I can send it to you after if you reach out to me, because this is what changed a lot for me too. And I sent it to you, Danielle, yesterday when I was sending you guys what I was saying to people. Anyway, so I say, hey girl, or whatever their name is. I never say girl. I always say their first name. Thank you for the follow. As soon as someone follows you back, okay? So the next day or whenever, I try to respond to them as soon as I can. Hey girl, thank you for the follow. I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Jessica. I live in Ottawa, Ontario with my husband, Mimo, and 2 little girls. I work full-time as a dental hygienist and help people with their health and fitness goals part-time as well. I am a total weirdo, so there I'm putting in my personality and telling them what I do and planting the seed that I help people with their health and fitness, okay? And sometimes mildly inappropriate, which you'll see on my stories that I post daily. So I'm inviting them to look at my stories. Forgive me in advance, okay? So just like being my silly self. I hope that my page offers a lot of value, entertainment, and encouragement. What do you do? Cheers, Jess. So that also opens up the conversation for them to respond to me about what they do. So that's worked so well for me, because now people know that I want to get to know them. I want to know what they do. I'm genuinely interested in who they are. Whereas before I was saying, hey, girl, it's thank you for the follow. I hope my page offers value, encouragement, and whatever I was saying. So I was never asking them about themselves. So now that I've kind of opened up that gate and they're telling me about themselves, it's really opened up so many more conversations for me. So what I do is I'll send that initial connecting message. 1 week later, exactly 7 days later, I'll go back to that message, even if they haven't responded to me. Because a lot of times, guys, my power hours now, I don't even do a power hour because it's not enough time. I've turned my power hours in from like 8 to 11 or 8 to 12. So a lot of times people are sleeping when I'm sending out my invitations. So I will send 1 week later an invite to either my online boot camp or the coaching opportunity. Even if they didn't respond to my initial connecting message, I don't care because I don't know if they didn't receive the message. So a lot of the time they literally didn't receive, or they received my message, but they got it the next morning when they were going to work. So they didn't even remember to message me back. Okay. So I'll say my initial connecting message. 1 week later, I'll invite them to a boot camp, or the coach opportunity. And that's what I've been doing. And that's how I keep my momentum so far. And that's worked really well for me. So after that, I respond to all my messages, because when you are reaching out to, like, I don't know, I'm going to say I invite probably 15 people a day to either a boot camp or the coaching opportunity, because I only invite people who follow me back, right? So I'm going to say 15 people follow me back a night or a day, and I send the initial connecting message, and then a week later invite them. So probably 15 people a day, I would say, I invite to the opportunity, the boot camp or the challenge group. Danielle, is that how many you invite? About 15? I think you said that the other day.
Oh, I invite a lot.
You do, hey?
But I do a lot of mass inviting. So I go through my story every day and I invite whoever's new.
I need to do that.
Follows my story and new followers. But
yeah, I should do that.
Like my post. So yeah. I'm not a consistent counter. I just do. Like that's what I Chris. I don't ever track. I just do.
Same. But I wanted to count it for this call because I didn't actually know how many people I was reaching out to, because it's just like what I do. So
15 is your invites, but do you say you connect with potentially more, connecting, meaning following up and?
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, yes. So anyone who, I mean, it depends how much time I have that night. Because again, I'm doing so much in such a little amount of time. So I connect with anyone who followed me, anyone who, sometimes I'll do my stories. It depends how much time I have. But anyone who likes my post that day. But honestly, like sometimes I don't even have time to do that because I have so many people that I have to get back to. So I find a lot of the time I just have so many people that I have to actually get back to from the day before's conversation that I can't even keep track. It's very busy.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I respond to my messages. I check my coach office every single day. I treat my coach office like my bank account. I don't know about you guys, but I check my bank account every day. It's just how I like to keep it organized. I like to know who's going inactive because I like to follow up with everyone who's going inactive just to keep my, what's that called? Team cycle even. So I just like to know what's going on there. I like to see if Beachbody gave me any people and all that. So I do check my coach office every single night. And I would say one of the biggest things that helped me in my business was being proof that the products work. Showing my results, showing up every single day, showing that my Energize gives me energy and that I'm not just a hyper case all the time, that my Shakeology helps give me nutrients and I use it as a prenatal because I'm breastfeeding, that the workouts gave me a 4-pack abs that I never had before and still have to get rid of my mommy tummy. But I try to show that the products are all working every single day. So I post about everything that I'm using every single day, most recently collagen, which I love. And I post my results probably, I would say once or twice a month. I post my results just to get everyone engaged and everyone active, because you're adding so many people all the time. You want to see what people are new, and people want to see what you're doing too, right? So I show my results about once or twice a month, I would say. But you guys, you know what? People like visuals. If you're not like sticking to the programs and you're not getting results, people aren't going to trust the business as much because you're not even doing it. So I feel like as humans, we trust and we believe visuals. It's just the way that we are. It's unfortunate because we wish that people just liked us because we're super kind and we're gung-ho to help them. But they want to see results realistically. So if you're not working on yourself every single day, which this business definitely requires, then you're not going to get the results that you expect. And that's just the way that this business is. You have to show that you're working and this is doing something for you. I personally think. So I think that if your business isn't moving forward the way that you expected, you just have to keep reevaluating. I would say every month. I reevaluate myself every single month. How do I reevaluate myself? Personal development. I'm constantly listening to audiobooks. Like, if I'm struggling with something, I'm going to be listening to an audiobook about it because I want to know how I can be better. And it's not just about listening, guys. You have to implement what you're learning. You can listen to as many audiobooks as you want every single day, but if you're not implementing what you're learning, then it's not going to take you anywhere. There's not really a purpose for it. I just listened to an audiobook called Build to Last. And I was telling Danielle and the other leaders in the group that it's really changed who I want to be as a leader. And I've taken so much from that one audiobook that's already changed my business in 1 week. But I'm implementing it. As soon as I read it, I printed stuff, I got everything done, and I started using it right away. So I'm not wasting time. I constantly am striving to be better, and so I can serve people better, because that's what we're doing. We're serving people. So I wanted to end this, like my conversation with you guys, with a quote from the audiobook that I was just talking about, Build to Last, because I loved it, and it really spoke to me. So he says, don't make the mistake of dreaming small with your business. So many people get involved with network marketing and don't understand the complete enormity of the opportunity, which is so true.
100%. That was really good. Thank you.
Oh, thanks.
All right, so I'm going to take 2 minutes and I'm just going to highlight some of the things that you said, and I'm going to try and type up some notes and probably steal the notes that you sent me in our message thread.
Yes.
Because there was a lot of value in everything that you just said. So I'm just going to highlight a few points. So she works her business mainly 8 to 11 or sometimes 8 to 12. So I shared with the team pretty recently, which we always talk about like a power hour. We talk about, you know, that's what it takes in order to build a business. But if you really want to see a business go somewhere and you want to grow a business, then you're probably going to have to spend more than an hour a day. Okay. And that's how I was in the very beginning. My hours looked very much like Jessica's hours. I typically worked from 8 to 11, 8 to 12. And then I got up butt crack early and I went to work for anywhere from 8 to 10 hours a day as a dental hygienist. And then I came home to a toddler. And that's just what we did because for one thing, I loved coaching. I was having fun with it just as Jessica was. And I was excited about what I was doing. But the other thing is that, like Chris and I realized the opportunity that we had in front of us. Okay, so I want to point out that if you really want to see your business go somewhere, then not only are you being consistent, but you may find that 30 minutes every other day or the 2 to 3 hours a week that you work on it, you're probably not going to build your business very fast or find a lot of momentum. And that's just honesty. Can you be a hobby coach doing that? Absolutely. Can you be a business builder working those types of hours, 2 to 3 hours a week? No. To be honest, it's going to be a very slow growing business at that point. All right. So you said you consider stories not working your business. I 100% agree with that. Stories to me are easy. It's just documenting your day. Now there are purposeful stories. There are stories where you're talking about you're promoting a workout program or you're promoting a coach sneak peek. Those are purposeful stories, but to simply document your day, show up, build trust. Okay, so Jessica said, build trust. That is one of the biggest reasons that she shares on social media, that she posted to her stories, is because she is building trust. Guys, if you want people to talk to you, you want people to like you, you want people to be into what you're doing, you have got to build trust, especially if for you guys that are trying to grow your cold market. Okay, that's what has to be done. Okay, so you consider working your biz as reaching out to people. I agree 100%. Reaching out to people, connecting with people, answering messages, doing stuff in my challenge group, to me, that's work. Showing up on my story is not work. But it is one of the things you have to do, but it's just not really, it's not hard. Okay, so every month that you are readjusting, reevaluating, you found 5 traits about yourself, and then you also named 4 positives and 1 vulnerable, and those are now what you put on social media that helps you become confident, build trust, and know that you're not everybody's cup of tea. And then showing up in the challenge groups daily, whether it's your personal group or not your group. Guys, I started not knowing what a challenge group was, and so I totally immersed myself as a challenger.
Mm-hmm.
And I gained experience of what my customers were going to experience because I was the guinea pig.
Mm-hmm.
You got to show up every day in your challenge groups, whether you have customers or you don't have customers. That is what helps you understand what your customers are going to be going through. And then I love your personal message. I know people are going to be asking for a copy of that, so when I make these notes, I'll include that. I love that you follow up with a question. What do you do? That's great. A lot of times I'll ask people, are you into clean eating or are you into fitness? But I love the point that you just asked, what do you do? Like that's and then you always follow up a week later with the invite. You check your CO, your Coach Online office every day. I don't know how many of you have no idea what's going on in your Coach Online office. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I honestly can't believe it. Sometimes when coaches don't know that they're getting ready to go inactive or that they have coaches inactive, like if you take your business seriously, would you show up to your day job not knowing what the hell is going on that day? Absolutely not. If you're, oh my goodness, like I was or Jessica is, you're going to go in. The first thing you're going to do is look at your schedule and write out your day and look at what's going on. That is what your Coach Online office is. You need to know what's going on in your business, or you're running a business blind, and that's not being a CEO. It's not. All right, so sharing results. People are visual. You do this about 1 to 2 times a month. If you don't have results yet, guys, you have a team full of people willing to share with you. Okay. Another coach posts the results, send them a personal message and be like, hey, I'm on Team On My Tone too. I'm a coach under Danielle, or I'm a coach under Jessica. I see you share your results. Would you mind if I shared that in my story? Would you mind if I give you a shout out on my page? So you can always have the opportunities to share other things, and also sharing your mental transformation, your health transformation, other types of transformation. It doesn't always have to be physical. And I love that you ended this with PD being very important, but you don't just read it or listen to it, you implement it. Okay, we don't want to, what is it called, being collectors of information. Being a collector of information does you no good if you're not going to use it. Okay. All right, guys. I have a couple questions, and we're going to move over to Sierra. And this is from Marissa. Are you tracking Jessica paper, pen, or electronically?
So I was tracking on Moira Kukaba's book, but like I'm in bed at 8 p.m. realistically, guys. I just didn't have the time to write everything on paper anymore. So what I do now is, I don't know if you guys have iPhones, but on your calendar, so as soon as someone responds back to me, I consider them someone that I'm going to reach back to. So as soon as I invite them to a boot camp or a coach, the business opportunity, I consider them someone that I'm going to talk back to. So I take their name, I copy and paste it into my notes on my phone, into people to message. And I have people to message organized on my phone by months. Does that make sense to you? So I have people to message January, February, March, April, May, and then every single person who responds back to me in my Instagram, I copy their name and put it in that month. So as soon as someone responds back to me, I automatically put their name in my calendar on my phone for the next day. So not only do I copy and paste it into my notes, I copy and paste their name into my calendar for the next day so I don't forget to reach out to them. So every single night, when I told you guys that a lot of the time I don't have time to even like look who looked at my stories, it's because I'm responding to so many people that were on my calendar that I had plugged in the day before. So that's what I've been doing. Now, if someone doesn't respond to me after I say, okay, like, let's talk about your nutrition, I put huge focus on my nutrition. Like, what are your goals? What are your struggles? If they don't respond to me after that, because it's 11 p.m. and that's when I'm talking to them, I put their name for a week later to be like, hey girl, I'm assuming you got distracted over there, ? Story of my life. That's what I say every single time. And most people will respond back like, oh my God, sorry, I fell asleep, or they don't respond, which is fine. I still have their name to follow up in my January or February list, right? Like I always follow up with my list anyways. So that's how I do it. I use my calendar on my iPhone right now. So they message me, I put their name in my notes so that I never forget it. And if my Instagram ever gets lost, I catastrophize everything. I always have everyone's name. And then they're in my calendar as well. And so on. If they don't respond to me a week later, then they're in my calendar for the month later. So, and so on. So I keep going until they tell me not to message them.
Love it. Love it. And I love how you don't make it awkward and you're like story of my life too, right? Like
Yeah.
you don't make it awkward for them. You kind of put it back on yourself also.
For sure.
Okay. So another question from Shelby Jessica on Network Power Hour with Jace. So that was that tracker where Coach Jace did a networking power hour.
Okay.
They're asking, does the whole let's see. She does the whole follow and unfollow. Did you unfollow at the same time or what do you do?
I do. And I'm actually super friggin' annoyed right now because Instagram has me blocked again. But what I do is I had an app that is called Followers, and I follow minimum 50 a day, guys. Like that's probably minimum. I probably follow closer to 100. So I never want my following to be higher than my followers, because me personally, when I go look at someone's Instagram account, if their following is higher than their followers, I automatically assume network marketer, which is bad, or robot. And I don't want to follow people like that. So I always like my followers to be higher than who I'm following. So yes, right now I have to go through individually and unfollow people, because the following, Instagram has blocked me from mass unfollowing for the next week. So that's what I normally do. I do it, and yes, I do it every single night too, because I want that balance.
And there are apps, in case you guys don't know what she's talking about. There are apps, and we've talked about the app cleaner that will follow and unfollow for you.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris has gotten blocked. You do run the risk of being blocked. I haven't used it for months, but I actually just used it yesterday and today, and I think I may use it once a week. But if you're consistently using it, then you're at risk of being blocked. But if you use it once a week, you might be okay. I don't know. I'm not like the powerhouse over Instagram, but you do run a risk of things like that happening if you don't manually go in and do it. Okay?
Yes, for sure. And I do that at the same time. And that's what also takes me a while, is to unfollow people too.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Jessica.
No problem.
I think I have you muted. So if you can find yourself and unmute, I'm going to hand over the call. Oh, I found you. I've unmuted you. So I'm going to hand the call over to you.
I'm putting my microphone back.
Okay.
I'm gonna try not to be too repetitive, because I feel like me and Jessica do a lot of things similarly. But yeah, you definitely make sure you're being a product of the products you're using, our supplements and our programs and our nutritional program. And you want to be consistent in using these so that you can get results. I definitely noticed my business really took off when I started sharing my results. So that's definitely really important. And then also making sure that your challengers are getting their results too, so they can share their results as well. I did find that I was having more success with this when I did branch off and form my own challenge group. And I got a lot of good feedback from my challengers that they feel like they're getting more personalized attention because it's a smaller group versus like our larger team group. So I think that's helped with that. And you want to make sure that you're consistently inviting people to groups in your stories and your posts. That way you have something to follow up on and to message people about. So I message everyone who views my story anytime I do an invite. I really like making those polls or those swipes, if you like, things on my story as well. Because I find a lot of people actually accidentally push the poll button, so you can follow up based on that. But yeah, I follow up with everyone who watches my stories or comments and likes my photos. And you want to make sure that you are using your warm market. So if you're not already talking to friends and family about what you're doing, you want to do that. I also talk to my coworkers about what I'm doing. And I've really found it helpful friending friends of friends as well. So I do that a lot on Instagram and Facebook, because these people are somewhat familiar with you, so they already have a little bit of trust in you versus like complete strangers. So I consider them my warm market too. With your cold market, you definitely want to consistently build this over time too. I found that being in Facebook groups has helped me. So I'm a part of my local soccer league's Facebook page. I'm also a part of a few different local dental hygiene pages. And I'm also a part of a new moms group now that I randomly got invited to, and I've definitely been taking advantage of that. So in these groups, I don't post about my business. I just kind of connect and message people from these groups. I comment a lot in the groups. And then I add a lot of people from these groups as my friends. Okay. And I also look up hashtags on Instagram too, of things I'm interested in, to find people who I have things in common with to add. But I do mainly find my followers through friends, so I definitely look on your friends' pages. And then you want to make sure that you're being authentic and relatable in your posts. So I definitely talk a lot about issues I've had in the past with like anxiety and how fitness nutrition has helped me overcome this. I also talk a lot about, now that I'm pregnant, the struggle I've been having with nutrition during my first trimester, and also struggles I've had with motivation because of fatigue of pregnancy. So I share a lot about this too. It's not about being perfect. You want to be relatable, and I find I've been connecting a lot with other pregnant ladies because of what I've been posting lately, so it's good to share your struggles as well. And I make sure to post daily, so I do plan my posts ahead of time, especially on busy work days. I just write out posts in my notes so I can easily copy and paste, and I have my picture picked out already. So this helps me have more thoughtful posts because I don't want to rush and write a post real quick after work. And I always make sure I have at least 5 slides in my story. So I always share my workout, I share my clean eats, I share if I'm using my Shakeology or my Energize and why I use it. And I also share little tidbits about my life as well. And then I also do self-development. I mainly listen to like ebooks. And I always make sure to listen to the morning wake-up call every week. I usually don't listen on Mondays, but I make sure to work it into my schedule. And it's usually on my way to work, on my way home from work, and during my lunch that I listen to these. I definitely find that it's helped me build my confidence over time, and it also gives me some good posting material as well. Yeah, so to end this, I just want to say that I found that once I got over the fear of what other people would think about me is when I really started to grow my business and to enjoy the business even more. So just pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone a little bit over time definitely helps you build your confidence. Yeah, and I'm still pushing myself out of my comfort zone. I usually don't do lives. This is pushing myself out of my comfort zone doing this call. So yeah, you just have to work on it over time. And I think that's all I had.
Awesome. I love it. And I love that you highlight pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, because guys, this is what this business is. And none of us come into coaching being the most confident person. You all, like, I used to be so terrified. I tell Chris, I'm like, I don't want to talk to anybody in person about Beachbody or about coaching. But now it's like, I can pretty much like say it like the back of my hand, because I have practiced talking about the business so many times. When I decided I was going to start doing webinars live and have people jump on and hear me talk about coaching, I did it every single month for 2 years. And talk about being able to tell you what the business is all about. When you say it over and over and over again, you become better and better and better at it. So for all you guys that have professional careers, think about the first day you walked into the door, where you're not like totally scared shitless and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I feel like I'm going to look so stupid. I don't want to talk or ask anybody a question. You all, that's what coaching is. But you know what? Nobody pays you a 9-to-5 salary. Nobody makes you do this. So you either run from it and decide, I'm just not going to do it because it's uncomfortable, or you decide to choose it as a bit, like treat it like a business and decide, all right, I'm going to practice and I'm going to send messages today. And then tomorrow I'm going to send a couple more. And the next day I'm going to send even more. And I'm going to start doing these things consistently that the people who are having success are saying to do. And I'm going to be self-disciplined to do those things consistently, because this is a very easy business. Like, you all, what we're doing is not hard. Not hard. Sitting on your couch and messaging people is not hard at all. But it is very, very easy not to do it because it's not comfortable for you. Okay? And those are all mindset things. And if you're dealing with that challenge right now and you're battling that inside your head right now, what are you going to do to change it? because Danielle is not going to be able to motivate you. Your sponsor is not going to be able to motivate you. We can do calls like this all day long, but until you actually take the information that you're listening to and hearing from people who want to help you, Sierra and Jessica just gave you an hour of their time tonight, sharing tips with you, taking away time from their business. And the most respectful thing that you can do is go out there and implement these things. Put them to use. We want to help you, but we can't do it for you. So I think you guys have been given enough information tonight to create some success and to hopefully get out of your own way so you can start building your own momentum, or keep your momentum going and keep yourself moving forward towards your goals instead of giving up on them. Okay? Does anybody have any questions? Feel free to either unmute yourself, or type them in the chat box. This is a really quiet time. And guys, you can post questions later. I know that Sierra and Jessica are amazing people that would be more than happy to answer your questions if you guys message them personally, if that made you feel more comfortable. Okay, I see Amber has a question. What is the app for follow cleanup? I called it Cleaner. Now I'm going to give you guys a big warning. You just heard Jessica say that she used she uses something different. And Jessica can pop back in here and say what it is. But there's a big warning flashing to you guys. Instagram doesn't like it. Mm-hmm. And if you're using it, they may block your account or remove your account. So use it at your own risk. Like I said, I just started using Cleaner yesterday because I was like, I wanted to see if it still worked, because Chris is like, I've been blocked. And I'm like, well, I'm going to try and use it. I'm probably going to only delete 50 people, maybe like once a week or every couple days, because I don't want it blocking my account.
That's what I'm going to do, Danielle.
I still get blocked. Do what?
That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, you don't want to lose your account. We've actually had a leader on our team lose her account, not because of issues with Instagram taking it away, but a whole other stream of issues where she couldn't log back into her account, and she had to start a whole new account all over again, and she had like 13,000 followers. So it's not fun. You don't want to have to do that if you don't have to.
My biggest fear.
Yeah. Okay, Shelby said that was the one I was using and got blocked. Yeah, but unfollowed 100-ish people. Yeah, so
yeah,
it's best, y'all. I know it sucks and it's a pain in the butt. It's best to do it manually.
Mm-hmm.
I probably, like I said, I'm gonna rarely use it. Again, I'm taking a risk. I just used it for the first time yesterday, but I just want to put like that fair warning, like flashing signs out at you. Warning. Mm-hmm. Warning. Okay, did anybody else have any questions? Steph said, how can you tell if they are following you if you are doing it manually? So I can answer this one. If you go, and I think Jace actually shows you in the social networking. Does she show you? I can't remember. But if you go to your following, what I have done is I went to their followers and I type in my name, and if it doesn't show, then they're not following me. Is that what you do? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It usually shows up right at the top. Don't you guys find? Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't even have to type in my name. I just see my name at the top, and then I follow or unfollow.
That's true. It is typically right at the top. You're right. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's not like the funnest thing to do.
No.
Just was like, no.
That's why I mass unfollow and get blocked every week. Which I'm going to stop. I've learned my lesson.
All right, guys. So I am going to end the meeting. If you guys have any more questions or have questions for Jessica or Sierra, feel free to reach out to them. Thank you guys for hopping on here. Good night.
Bye.